Hi, I'm Dave Cohn. Welcome to our video series for Professional GBS. This is our second of 4 modules on transformation management. In this session, we will focus on design thinking. Let's explore ways to identify services and processes ripe for transformation. Next, we will present techniques to drive breakthrough innovation with a focus on design thinking. And finally, how do you assess potential opportunities? Across your company, there may be hundreds of business processes with potential for transformation. Even mature GBS organizations will have major transformation opportunities, especially as business conditions change. 2 approaches can help you identify where to start your transformation journey: stakeholder feedback and business capability assessments. The approaches can work together as stakeholder feedback flows from your knowledge in service management, and business capability assessments connects to all your great work to drive continuous improvement in your operations. For quality stakeholder feedback, you will need to think about who you are serving. This would include your clients or business leaders who would benefit from great efficiencies. Users, they interact with your systems, both inside and external to the company. They want services that get the job done. Surveys can serve a purpose, but aren't the best approach for collecting feedback on transformation opportunities. To get strong qualitative input, here are approaches we like. Watch your users interact with services and solutions via direct observations. This reminds me of a great quote that designers listen best with their eyes. You will see a user downloading information to a spreadsheet to do additional calculations. That will let you know you have an opportunity within your solution. There are also one-on-one interviews and focus groups. I like one-on-one interviews better since you will get more varied feedback, although it does take a lot more time. It's a great way to build relationships with your stakeholders. Be sure your questions are open-ended, as they will elicit a more complete response. Also, try to avoid getting defensive. Take deep breaths and listen. If it makes business sense, you can even place a team member within the business team doing this work for 3 to 4 months. It's a great way to earn the respect of the business and gain deep learning. Here's the second approach that builds on all your great process mapping that you do in operations. You can list all your processes and ask yourself, where do you have opportunities to explore business process outsourcing, digitization, advanced analytics, or intelligent process optimization? You can score each area and then estimate business impact from doing the work. The major BPO firms offer these capabilities. Firms like EY, Deloitte, Genpact, and so on. They offer strong assessment tools and have great expertise. Of course, this won't be cheap, and it's a great capability to build internally. If you do engage an external partner, we'd suggest that you keep your people close to ensure you build your own knowledge in doing this work. You also want to make sure it's an extension of your service team and not an alternative. It's important that your clients see you in a leadership position. Another approach is talking to other companies that have transformed in a similar space. A great way to do this is via software and solution providers that are trying to sell you. You can ask them for reference customers and set up calls to get real-world feedback on what works and what doesn't. Let's now talk about techniques to move your ideas forward. As you do this, think in a 30, 60, 90-day mindset so you can move quickly, learn, and adjust. The three approaches we will cover are design thinking to explore and solve problems. We will spend most of our time here. Lean startup to guide you in building the right solution, and agile that can help you build the solution right. Design thinking is a great approach to unlock ambiguous business problems and discover human-centered solutions. After this session, if you'd like to learn more about design thinking, check out the book, The Art of Innovation by Tom Kelly. To give you an overview, we will take you through the steps of empathy, problem framing, ideation, and prototyping. You may consider a workshop where you bring experts together with a facilitator to accelerate the approach. Let's start with empathy. How do we go beyond what we think we know about the users of our service and more fully understand how solutions fit into their needs? Here's an example of applying empathy. It's a journey map where a customer's visit to a Microsoft event. On the left side, you can see her emotional experience move from positive to neutral to negative. Ask yourself, what are the moments of truth for your service? From when a person gets access, and then training, to daily usage, to special request. And what if they need support? How do they experience your service? What's their emotional journey, and what are your opportunities to improve? You could be doing most of your moments of truth with excellence, but if one moment isn't meeting the needs, it could ruin your service equity. Perhaps you learn that your support experience isn't up to par, and you need to reinvent it. Albert Einstein said, if I had an hour to solve a problem, I'd spend 55 minutes thinking about the problem and 5 minutes thinking about solutions. We often jump to solutioning without fully understanding the problem. Take the time to fully define your problem. Make sure it's clear, concise, and compelling. Don't introduce anything on solutions yet. The people who designed the Swiffer wetjet didn't ask, how can we make the bucket and the mop better? They asked, how might we design a cleaning experience with less mess and effort? How about for your services? How might you reinvent it? Now, let's move to ideation. Here's a quote from Reed Hastings, founder and CEO of Netflix, on the difference between creativity and efficiency. A way to think about it is, innovation requires variation. And in manufacturing, Six Sigma and all that stuff, you're trying to reduce variation. The fundamental manufacturing paradigm is to reduce variation, and the fundamental creative innovation paradigm is to increase it. So how can we shift our operations thinking to reduce variation and come up with new ideas? One approach is brainstorming. Here we need to collect ideas and not judge them right away. It's not always easy. A second approach is structured ideation. How can you reframe a problem and make it more general? We had a challenge to save money in our mobile spend. This was back when mobile costs were way more variable. We could have limited who we provided phones to or put spending limits on it. But we reframed the problem to one of stewardship and providing much better visibility to spending. This enabled us to hit savings targets. Dyson vacuum cleaners is an interesting example. They looked at who else gets dust out of the air. They looked at sawmills and the cyclonic action. It helped them design their popular vacuum. Here's an example for travel and expense. We've mapped out the steps: planning the trip, tracking expense, reimbursements, and so on. We reframe the problem. Why do I need a manager to approve the expenses and a back office operation to audit random reports? What is this like? Credit card fraud detection. Who has solved this problem? Amex, Visa, and other companies. How can their solution be reapplied? Perhaps we can use machine learning to identify expenses that are not consistent with company policy. Now that would save a lot of time in approvals. Prototyping is an area that people often struggle with, since most of us like our work to be perfect. But the higher the quality of the mock-up, studies show you get less feedback, since people don't want to put down all your hard work. Keep it simple. Iterate on it. I challenge people, give me your best prototype in a week, and then get feedback from 10 customers in the next week, and have a revised mock-up the following week. With Swiffer, they took a broom handle, attached a spray bottle and a diaper pad to the bottom. They took it to consumers' homes and got amazing feedback. Lean Startup can help you move from ideation to the lab. Lean Startup was popularized in a book by Eric Ries, based upon the principles of lean manufacturing, which seeks to increase value-creating practices and eliminate wasteful practices. Although we can't do justice to the entire concept here, the basic thought is creating MVPs, or minimum viable products, to test hypotheses and learn and iterate. So for us in GBS, we can shorten our development life cycles and avoid costly failures. You can even do this with your services by offering it just to a small group and using a manual approach to simulate the back end. It's a great way to get feedback. Agile can help you move your ideas from lab to market. It's an approach to product development in which requirements and solutions evolve through collaborative effort. It advocates adaptive planning, early delivery of value, continual improvement, and rapid response to change. It's very popular in software development, but can also be applied to service startups. Ultimately, you may have a portfolio of big ideas to pursue. One evaluation approach is fit, feasibility, and attractiveness. With fit, you can evaluate if it has strong leadership sponsorship. Is it for one business unit or multiple ones? Feasibility. Can you get funding? If it requires new processes, will your business support it? Does the technology exist? And attractiveness. Is it worth it based on the metrics that are most relevant to you? You can assign measures for each of these elements to help you rank them. We hope you enjoyed this session in our Professional GBS series. All the best as you professionalize, modernize, and transform.